Let's continue on. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 19. Cursed shall you be when you come in, and cursed shall you be when you go out. Man, these are consequences of disobedience. You are a curse. You know, you could wear a shirt, cursed. You know, and that would explain it. And it's all about bad decisions. The decision not to hearken unto God and not to keep His 10 commandments. Now we come to something in addition to the natural fallout. Here we come into Deuteronomy 28 and verse 20. We start to deal with God's sort of like direct intervention of cursings. Because here we go, let's read this. The Lord shall send upon thee cursings. Now here we have God's hand in the, in the picture here. Vexation and rebuke in all that you set your hand unto do. You know, it's like you try to do something and it never works out. Everything falls apart. Everything goes wrong. Until you be destroyed and until you perish quickly because, notice this, because, what is the cause? Because of the wickedness of your doing, whereby you have forsaken me. So here is another element that enters into the picture. You have forsaken God. Now, how can we say that? How can the Bible say that when there are 450,000 churches that dot our land, when there are about 650,000 preachers in America? How can we say that? You've forsaken me. You know, all these people, oh Lord, I love Jesus, and just invite Jesus into your heart. Well, it almost seems like that the kind of Christianity we've been practicing isn't working. I'm not saying that Christianity will not work. I'm just saying the kind that we've been practicing as a nation doesn't seem to work. We're not getting closer to God, is what I'm saying. We're drifting further away. Okay. So no longer are we talking about natural consequences. Here we begin to see what God will do if we don't obey Him. Now, let's take a look at another verse here. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 22. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption and with fever and with inflammation and with extreme burning and with the sword. And the sword always represents war. And with blasting and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until you perish. Here we go into the category of being overtaken by our enemy, such as China basically owns America, things like that. Now look, I know this is negative. We're talking about cursings that God is going to send on good old Uncle Sam, okay? Now listen, I clearly understand. If you want to turn the channel and watch Joel Osteen talk about God's a blessing machine and He just wants to give you that 4-car garage and that BMW, listen, I have no quarrels against you doing just that, listening to that kind of religious pablum and living in a fantasy land. I will let you sleep on if you want to sleep on in your religious fantasy land, thinking that God's just going to pour out blessings because of our disobedience. You can continue to sleep on. But listen, as far as the cursings are concerned, we're just getting started here.
Is that really in the Bible? What you think is in the Bible is not.